Newly married and 17 years old.
This is when I first went into the service.
This picture of Robert Lee Rice was taken in 1965.
I don't have a way to take care of a wife. I don't even have a high school diploma. So this was my way of fixing that, was joining the service.
He wanted to be a chaplain's assistant.
I really started preaching before I went into the service.
Okay.
I was a teenage preacher.
So that's you in the front there, the white shirt?
Yeah, that's me right there.
Combat changes a man.
And then you never know what you're capable of doing until the opportunity presents itself or you are pushed into that mode.
Vietnam changed Robert Lee Rice.
I was shot in the hip. The bullet came out my back.
He was fighting with the 1st Division, 28th Infantry in Vietnam, lying on the battlefield, losing a lot of blood.
It was looking so bad, I said, Lord, I'm ready to die. You can come get me right now. I was in the hospital for a month and a half.
He was supposed to go back to his company, but Robert went to Saigon instead.
This is the first time I went AWOL.
After a few days, he went back to his unit and showed them his doctor's records. They said he wasn't supposed to spend much time on his feet.
He said, well, you're going to the field in the morning. I said, going to the field? I said, I'm still having problems walking. He said, well, you know you were late. So, okay, I go back to the field, and my wound come open after about 4 or 5 days.
So he jumped on a helicopter and went to the hospital again. Then AWOL again. He was court-martialed for that and sent to the stockade.
You had to pay attention to the guys because you didn't want to be jumped on. You had to carry yourself a certain way. You never wanted to show weakness. So if you cried by yourself when nobody was watching.
But that was not enough to deter him. He went AWOL once again.
He gave me another special court-martial. It was 6 months that time. I did the whole 6 months. Got out, messed up again.
In all, just over 3 years in Vietnam and 4 special court-martials.
4. And
4 stockade trips.
As stuff started happening, there started being more and more guys going to jail. Then they had to build a bigger facility. This is the stockade. Long Beach Jail. I never will forget that. That's well, I don't want to talk about that.
At that point, the Army tried to give him a bad conduct discharge.
But they said I had to sign for it. I said, oh, no, I'm not signing for that. He said, well, Rice, you're not never going home. I said, I'm already at home. And I walked out of his office and went back to Saigon.
It took the Army close to another year, but they came back again. They admitted they broke military code by sending him back to his original company after each trip to the stockade.
And that never did happen. And because I didn't accept that bad conduct discharge, I was able to get an armor discharge.
Somewhere between Saigon and Chattanooga, Robert Rice lost his way.
My marriage was over.
So after all he went through, he remarried and started working on the things he planned to do when he joined the Army in the first place. He went to night school and got his high school diploma. And when his second marriage didn't work out, he got married a third time. This time, he married his first wife, Frances, all over again.
I'm teaching Sunday school.
And after never getting a chance to be that chaplain's assistant,
I went to Covenant Seminary.
He found his ministry.
My audience is more or less to the people that are in jail.
He's been holding a weekly service at the Hamilton County Jail for the last 22 years.
Jesus said, you didn't come visit me when I was in jail. And the disciples say, well, when were you in jail? And Jesus said, when you done this to the least of these, you done it unto me. So that's my ministry now, is prison ministry.
Robert Rice told me a story in that interview about the day he was shot in Vietnam. He said an angel came to visit him there on the battlefield that day. You can hear him tell that story in the latest episode of our podcast, Tomorrowtown, Tennessee. You can find a link to that on my Facebook page right now.